She was on vacation with her husband and they were scoping out graveyards on the way, as you do, when she saw it. Rising out of the old cemetery, big as an old, macabre, telephone pole. Was this some kind of bizarre art piece the authorities hadn't gotten wise to yet? Even as she stepped out of the car, the megaphones on its head screeched to life. 9. 18. 1. Child. 17. Remove. Vile. A buzzing, doubled voice screamed random words at her. At this point, it jerked into motion, striding down the hill towards her. The Tumblr caption for the original drawing of Siren Head. Siren Head, who is sometimes called Lamp Head, occasionally written as Siren Head or Siren Head and Lamp Head or Lamp Head, and by many other names, is a hostile cryptid and urban legend created by the Canadian horror artist Trevor Henderson. Appearance. Siren Head is a 40-foot-tall humanoid creature with a heavily emaciated, near-skeletal frame covered in dried, mummified flesh the color of rusty metal. Its limbs are disproportionately long and thin, with its arms as long as its legs, ending in huge, bony hands. Where its head and neck would be, instead a thin metal pole with a pair of acoustic sirens attached to it, hence the name, stretches up from between its shoulders, with black wires coiling around the pole and connecting the sirens to its upper torso. These speakers are the only metal parts of its body, fused to the neck by tendrils of skin, and capable of swiveling completely around, similar to the head of an owl. Some images depict Siren Head speakers bearing toothy, lipless jaws and long, retractable tongues. Some photographs depict Siren Head as having multiple sirens, or having a street lamp in place of its head. Both of these imply that Siren Head either has the ability to change its appearance to better blend in with its surroundings, or that subspecies of Siren Head exist, which, as confirmed by Trevor, are now deceased. True to its name, Siren Head speakers can play various types of loud noises, typically air raid sirens, garbled music, or emergency broadcasts, though it can also mimic animal noises and voices from people it has heard, usually to lure human victims. Trevor Henderson also goes on to explain that Siren Head might be packed up with a loose cassette tape and a tape recorder incorporated in its body. This may be the explanation of how Siren Head captures the sounds of its victims and the surrounding sounds which Siren Head replays as bait. Although some fan theories state that Siren Head sirens and or lamps were artificially attached to its body rather than being a natural part of its anatomy, on April 25, 2020, Henderson released a statement on Twitter explaining that Siren Head isn't a man-made creature and that Siren Head has the ability to imitate various human technologies to blend in. Trevor Henderson also explained that although Siren Head is a physical entity, its appearance varies with each witness. Individuals see Siren Head slightly differently, although the anatomy is always generally similar, being a thin and skeletal figure, with different types and numbers of heads. Siren Head isn't a being of our reality. Instead, Siren Head is much different than us, as it is not limited by our laws of nature. Basically, Siren head is a constantly changing manifestation, which almost always appears different in the victim's view of Siren head. The information changes all knowledge we have on Siren head, which opens various theories about the creature. It is not known how Siren head came to have sirens in the distant past before actual sirens were invented. If the laws of our nature, time, and space don't apply to it, it is possible Siren head may be a being of unlimited power, all-knowing and able to move in any direction of the universe. However, these are all just speculations at the moment. Trevor has recently revealed many more facts about Siren head. It is actually the static form of an unfathomable supernatural entity. Despite its lack of eyes, it can still see. It also has the ability to manipulate technology by playing sounds through other devices. It spends most of its time standing still, but it has the ability to move very fast. Victims of Siren head have apparently been found with their eyes/eardrums/gums/sinuses burst and bleeding, a description which matches the aftermath of a recent incident where the majority of a town was found killed in this fashion. Siren head was never a person. People cannot be turned into an example of it. Weapons do not normally work on the entity. It has almost never been spotted in populated areas. Despite the teeth in its speakers, Siren head does not have a need to eat, meaning that it may not actually be a predator in the traditional sense, though there is contradictory evidence in this regard. There have also been conflicting reports on whether Siren head is a lone being or whether an entire species. Interestingly, Siren head does not seem to acknowledge other animals and seems solely focused on humans. Its motives are currently unknown and may be completely alien to us. When asked if people have survived the creature, or if Siren head has had any worshippers, Trevor simply responded with a smiley face. Some incident descriptions themselves imply that there are occasional survivors. Very scary. Personality. Siren head is a very aggressive, monstrous, and skilled predator, which makes it very dangerous. It seems to have some degree of intelligence due to using tactics such as camouflaging within forests and mimicking sounds like voices to hide from and lure its prey. Other than that, nothing much else is known about Siren head's way of thinking, though unconfirmed theories suggest it is the last of its kind and so might have a strong will to survive. It is possible that the entity developed its camouflage abilities in order to hide from even more dangerous beings, though again this is not confirmed. Siren head is not above fooling people with their friends' voices. One sighting suggests that it also blocks out the screams of its devoured victims with other sounds, in order to prevent anyone from coming to the victim's aid. Thus, while weapons are not known to work on Siren head, its need to conceal its attacks and generally elusive behavior imply that there may be some way of harming it, or at least interrupting its activity. Alternatively, this may be done to ensure a successful hunt by confusing and disorienting the prey, or it might be simple cruelty. Siren head does not always consume its victims as seen in the Siren head video game, meaning it is possible that the entity kills for reasons other than obtaining sustenance. One of the later possible sightings of Siren Head includes a news story describing the aftermath of an unusual, never-before-seen killing tactic. For unknown reasons, Siren Head chose to kill many of the people in a town/neighborhood by bursting their eardrums and soft tissues. It is not known whether Siren Head produces a specific sound to cause such an effect, or if it simply made noises that were loud enough to do so. Many of the residents were left behind and not taken by Siren Head, suggesting that Siren Head has started killing large groups of humans for no further purpose. This is a departure from its previous behavior, as it normally only stalks and kills individuals or small groups. It is possible that this multi-headed version of Siren Head is a subspecies, or simply a design update, though Trevor has confirmed neither theory. Powers and abilities. Mimicry. Siren Head has the ability to release sounds of news broadcasts, human conversations, sirens and screams. When mimicking a human, a distinctive distortion in the voices is always present, due to the sounds being played through sirens instead of vocal cords or other organic means of creating noise. One report claims that Siren Head was able to kill a group of people by mimicking their friend's voice. Another post's caption suggests Siren Head can use its broadcast to block out the cries of its victims. The latest sighting shows a 5-headed Siren Head using its loud sounds to possibly kill off many people, as they were found with burst eardrums and soft tissues. Strength. It is believed that Siren Head is extremely powerful due to its size. Siren Head is able to break down trees or various heavy objects at will. Speed. In one sighting of Siren Head, a couple reported that Siren Head can be incredibly agile. The couple were driving home, until they saw the graveyard. They ended up checking out the grave, where they saw Siren Head. According to the story, Siren Head started running towards them at an extremely rapid pace. Stealth. Some say that Siren Head is a stronger moving relative of trees, which is the reason why Siren Head can blend inside of a forest or behind a tree. It can stay motionless for days at a time to blend in with its surroundings, with Trevor mentioning on his Tumblr that Siren Head can cling to ceilings sometimes to make its body blend in with the wires and look like a PA system, stating that he might have used this tactic to take several people in Detroit. Trevor also mentioned that Siren Head makes no sound while moving, saying it can be almost completely silent, with yet another post saying it was able to move when someone's back was turned without the person knowing. Transformation. Siren Head appears to be a shapeshifter, being able to transform its head into functioning sirens and street lights. Trevor mentioned on his Tumblr that Siren Head once possibly disguised itself as a piece of home furnishing or pipes in the walls to kidnap a family of 4. It was able to somehow take them from their home in its new form or lure them from without having to enter, as the only sign of their disappearance was the open backyard patio door. The latest sighting shows a multi-headed variation, which could either be a subspecies or the same Siren Head creating more sirens to kill off many more people. In some cases, Siren Head may also remove an individual's organs. Trevor's response to an ask on Twitter also states that it is possible that Siren Head consistently changes, or that its appearance could somehow be incomprehensible to humans, so our eyes see the closest approximation to its actual appearance. However, Trevor has left both interpretations open and has not confirmed either. Disguise. One of Siren Head's most unique traits is the ability to disguise itself as different pieces of urban detritus. Combined with its ability to change its body, it can be surprisingly effective in disguising itself as things such as telephone poles and lamp posts. Trevor has said that Siren Head can pop in its limbs towards its body, extend its midsection and even cover its arms with wires to disguise itself as a telephone pole, remaining motionless for days to sell the trick. Quotes. July 16, 1995, Chad Gueck is found wandering the woods of Tanyard Creek in northwest Arkansas. He is admitted with minor injuries, and when questioned, he claims his friends were taken or killed by something huge striding through the trees that mimicked their voices. Chad Gueck about Siren Head on July 16, 1995. Family of 4 missing from their suburban home this Thursday night, with no signs of a break-in. Neighbors reported the disappearance when they saw the backyard patio door was left open and no one answered the front door when they a quote describing what happened with the family after Siren Head came to them. The rash of disappearances had 2 commonalities. It was always people walking the side streets on their way home from work, from some social outing, and it was always dark by the time people started wondering where they were. It was always past when the street lights come on. The description of Siren Head with a lamp for its head, nicknamed Lamphead. They're still here. They've always been here. The description of the picture, which shows that Siren Head and Long Horse have existed since ancient times. Photo recovered from an abandoned cell phone by father and son hikers in Yellowstone National Park, July 14, 2016. The description of another Siren Head photo. Visitors to the motel that night dismissed the item as a piece of grotesque statue art, according to Goodnight Inn manager Ann Garnick, not knowing its appearance preceded a grim dash the description of yet another Siren Head photo, with him next to a motel. For the where am next 30 IPLE seconds ASE I need this help station will conduct a test of the emergency can NEO broadcast SYSTNE hear me M. This is only a let me out test. This is only a out test. The description of what Siren Head possibly put through his sirens. Many residents were woken in the late hours the night before the incident, complaining of sirens and garbled announcements echoing across the lake. The description of a picture of Siren Head next to a lake. When I turned back, there was an empty space where the trees had been. Something had moved while my back was turned. The description of a photo of Siren Head in the woods. Trivia. Siren Head was created by Trevor Henderson, who is known for making various bizarre creatures over the internet. His other creations include Cartoon Cat, the Country Road Creature, the Bridge Worms, the Man with the Upside Down Face, the Smile Room, the Good Boy, the Lamb, the Man in the Red Room, the Fetid King, the Giants, and Long Horse. The only parts of Siren Head that are man-made are its sirens and wires, which are fused to its dry and mummified skin. Although it commonly does produce sounds mentioned previously, Siren Head can also remain silent at will in order to avoid detection. When asleep, Siren Head produces white noise from its speakers. According to Henderson, Siren Head would be unaffected by an EMP, as it is mostly organic. On Twitter, Henderson posted an artwork of Siren Head, calling it the patron saint of going missing without a trace, of creeping dread, of bad things coming. Interestingly, the artwork features an iteration of Siren Head with an additional third smaller siren on its neck as opposed to the usual two-headed design. This might mean that Siren Head was redesigned. Siren Head was proposed to the SCP Foundation site as the non-canon SCP-6789, but it got removed by the Foundation, and they stated that Siren Head is not an SCP. Any source implying Siren Head to be a SCP is false, since Henderson has stated that he wishes to keep Siren Head as his own separate work. SCP-5987 was proposed to be named Siren Head, but is about the figurehead of a French privateer brig. The captain of the aforementioned ship was titled 6789A, an obvious reference to SCP-6789, but as said above, he was rejected and Siren Head is not an SCP. However, another one of Trevor's creations, Big Charlie, eventually was added as SCP-4158. Henderson has confirmed that Siren Head and Longhorse are aware of one another, possibly being enemies due to their different views on humanity. Henderson confirmed that Siren Head is the only one of its species when he responded to an ask on Tumblr about his creations possibly being part of a species. He name-drops Siren Head, Longhorse, Bonesworth, and Mr. Mascot as a few of the many monsters that are the only one of their kind. Siren Head's movement is nearly completely silent. Siren Head appears to be one of the largest of Trevor Henderson's creations, both figuratively and literally, being one of Trevor Henderson's most popular creations and it itself being around 40 feet tall. Siren Head and by extension, the rest of Trevor Henderson's art, has recently gained much more fame due to videos created by YouTubers, such as PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Korixkenshin, Lawrence Side, 8-Bit Ryan, and many others playing the Siren Head game and exploring more of the lore and other creatures created by Henderson. Henderson has responded to an ask on Twitter on how Siren Head could resemble tech from the 90s or 2000s in ancient times. Interestingly, he responded with what we're seeing might be the most recent form, or maybe a slightly outdated form, of something that consistently changes. Maybe our eyes just show us the closest approximation to what's actually there and this fits. This could possibly mean that Siren Head changes itself depending on the era it is in order to blend in more easily, or that what we see is not its real form, but the closest thing the human mind can associate with it. Siren Head is said to be some sort of ambassador/emissary/hype man for something else from somewhere else. What this something else is currently unknown. However, it might mean that Siren Head is a mere pawn of something even more powerful. Henderson has stated Siren Head does not actually need eyes, ears, a nose, or the ability to feel vibrations to be able to find prey due to its supernatural nature. Trevor Henderson confirmed himself that Siren Head is not of this reality, with the fact that it is not just an extraterrestrial from another dimension, but plausibly multiple beings that share a collectivist consciousness. A group of Siren Heads is called a static. In 2018, Henderson revealed that a Siren Head action figure is being made for sale, created by toy maker and designer Jeff D'Ottavio. It's believed that the action figures are still being prepared, or the project was dropped. Others have been creating their own versions of the action figure, publishing their work on YouTube and other social platforms. Henderson implied that Siren Head and Cartoon Cat are enemies of Long Horse and the Lamb. Additionally, he said that Siren Head and Cartoon Cat come from the void in the same post. Trevor Henderson was asked if the void was a concrete concept in the mythos or if it's just a way of him the creatures come from the darkness ideologically. Henderson confirmed that the latter is the case. Siren Head is Henderson's favorite creature. On the reference above, Henderson said that Siren Head once had a purpose. On a recent video called Let's Scare Junji Ito by Viz Media, Junji Ito, a popular horror manga artist, reacted to the first image of Siren Head and expressed great praise for it, stating that it is his favorite. Trevor, who has expressed admiration for Junji Ito's artwork, has shared a screenshot of Ito talking about Siren Head on Twitter.